San Angelo, Texas. We're here in central West Texas, and we've got about 40 parks. It really depends on how you count those parks, because some are in smaller sections and some are larger parks, unconnected. But basically we have about 40 parks. That's parks in town and also around Lake Nasworthy, and it doesn't include Twin Buttes, which is property we don't own, but we manage for the Bureau of Reclamation. In those parks, we've got a variety of things. It depends on what park you're looking at. It could have a playground, a picnic shelter. It could have some sports fields, practice fields, or competition fields. Could have some water features. It could have some gardens. So it also could have some trails. So there's a broad mix of different elements and facilities we have in our parks. What is the purpose of parks? I get asked that from time to time, and it always kind of surprises me, that question, because for me, this is my profession. I'm fully committed to the development and maintenance of parks because I know what they do for a city, for a community. Basically, they enhance the quality of life for individuals and for the community. Because of the history of Civic League Park, since it goes back so far, we actually got that park designated as a Lone Star Legacy Park just recently, just a couple of months ago. That designation is to parks that are at least 50 years old, very important to the community locally, or could even have a significant influence outside of the city, and are parks where there's different activities that occur and actually maybe even events. So Civic League Park was just an easy fit for that recognition, because we have the Lily Fest there. It is the location for the International Water Lily Collection, which has the Texas Dawn, which is the official state water lily. It's a location where there's other gardens. It's a park that dates back to 1903, and just an important place for our community and for internationally because of the water lily collection. Parks provide many benefits. One is health. It's a place to physically be active, which improves your body and also improves your mental stability. It keeps you fit and keeps you mentally healthy. Parks also build and strengthen communities. One interesting example of this is that we just finished the renovation of Meadow Creek Park, and when we dedicated or rededicated that park, somebody who lived in the neighborhood came up to me and said, this is for the first time. I live next door to somebody. I've never met them. For the first time after 7 years, I meet them here at the park and we've become friends, which is an excellent example of how parks can reconnect people who even may live right next door to each other. Parks are also excellent locations for community events, places for people of all different backgrounds to come together, enjoy, and have a good time, even for sporting activities. A great way for people to bond together is to participate in sporting events, working as a team and competing against other teams. Parks are an excellent place to reduce stress and promote relaxation. Parks also have economic benefits, and this is a two-pronged approach. One is based on the proximity principle. If properties, residential and commercial properties, based on their location to a well-developed and well-maintained park, actually have elevated property values, which in turn benefits the city directly with those property taxes. Parks also are a great place to enhance tourism. They bring in sporting tournaments. They bring in tourists to visit places such as Fort Concho. They also, especially like in a city like ours along a river, are a great place, especially for folks who live in large metropolitan areas who want to escape to a smaller place that's attractive and has a little bit slower pace of life, and kind of just escape and re-experience something different. Lastly, parks are a great place for people to be creative, whether that's in the arts or just expressing themselves in their own way. And creativity is very important for us as a civilization and as a community to be able to adapt to the future. San Angelo's got about 40 parks, and those parks offer many different things. We have parks out at the lakes that are right next to the lakes. We have parks in town with trails and playgrounds and pavilions. So we really encourage the public to come out and enjoy their parks. They help, the citizens help fund these parks and help maintain these parks. So we want to make sure that folks get a chance to use those parks. Folks can rent pavilions like this from the Parks and Recreation Department office. They can they can come enjoy the playgrounds and just the beautiful weather that we're having right now.
Well, Civic Events is the operation within the city that manages some of the municipally owned facilities in San Angelo. And those include Foster Communications Coliseum, where we are right now, the River Stage, the McNeese Convention Center, the Farmers Market Pavilion, the Indoor Arena and Pecan Creek Pavilion, and the Paseo Pavilions. And what we do is we rent those facilities to anyone who wants to use them, whether they're private individuals, event promoters, or businesses. And we provide the support services necessary in order to help those lessees carry out their events in those venues. Well, one of the nice things about Civic Events is we do get to be involved in some of the signature events for our community. Chiefly that would be the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo Association, which is held obviously each year here in Foster Communications Coliseum. And the number of performances grew last year, and we anticipate that it may grow again this coming year. And so it's nice to be able to be involved in an event that means that much to the community, where it fills up the Coliseum each and every night. It contributes millions of dollars to our local economy, and it's a great way for families to come and make some memories. The same could be said of our July 3rd Pops concert that we have at the River Stage. That obviously is organized and sponsored by the San Angelo Symphony, and we work very closely with the Symphony to provide all the support services that they need in order to make that event happen. And of course, it's a beautiful symphonic concert with patriotic music, incredible fireworks by Ken Landon, who's also the guru of our water lily gardens, and 40,000 people flood the banks of the Concho River each year to come to that event. So it's really nice to be involved in those sort of events that mean so much to our community. There is a misperception that Civic Events brings events to our facilities. And while we do our best to try to make our facilities available, make it known that our facilities are available, we are not event promoters. And there's a very simple reason for that. And the reason is that that is a very risky business. You could spend tens of thousands of dollars bringing an event to town, marketing it, providing all the necessary costs that there are with an event, and may not sell enough tickets to cover the cost. And since we are dealing with public dollars, we just don't feel like we're in the position to do that. And so what we do is we work with event promoters who are willing to take those sort of risks, and they're willing to put up the money. We get a small percentage of that, and hopefully have a lot of great events in our facilities that the community enjoys, and that hopefully our event promoters end up profiting off of those, but that's not always the case. Our facilities are not just for rodeos and circuses and concerts and the big events that people typically associate our facilities with. Anybody can come and rent the Coliseum, for instance. The first event that I attended here at Foster Communications Coliseum after I became the Civic Events Manager nearly 5 years ago was a quinceañera. And it was very odd for me, having only been in this facility for rodeos and circuses and ice shows, to see it decorated for a quinceañera, but it really worked. And the same is true of our convention center and our pavilions and Pecan Creek Pavilion and the River Stage. All of those are available for private individuals to rent and use for whatever event it may be, no matter how large or how small. We have a space that can accommodate your event. I think San Angelo is very fortunate to, at times in the past, had some very forward-thinking individuals who made sure that we have a Coliseum, who made sure that we have a convention center, who made sure that we have an amphitheater. And so we take a lot of pride in making sure that those facilities are well maintained, that they're well operated, and that they're filled with as many events as we possibly can, because that helps to improve the quality of life in our community. I moved here from Abilene 7 years ago, and within weeks I attended a nice show here in Foster Communications Coliseum, and I remember thinking at that point, because I'd never had that opportunity in 13 years and living in Abilene, I remember thinking how lucky we were to be in a community that had a facility like this that could host an event like that. And it's really a privilege to be involved with those events and with these facilities now in a very personal way.